Some zodiac signs can let things go like a leaf drifting downstream. Others can forgive, even act normal again, and still keep the entire moment preserved, every look, every word, every pause, like it was sealed inside glass. These are the signs who don't just remember, they archive. They keep receipts in the emotional vault, and even if they smile at you at a distance, the truth is, the score is still being quietly updated in the background. And here's the thing, most people misunderstand about grudges. For these signs, it isn't always about hate. Sometimes, it's about pattern recognition. It's about self-protection. It's about that one moment where the universe showed them who you were when you thought it didn't matter. They might not explode, they might not argue, they might not even mention it. But something inside them marks the timeline. Before you did that, and after you did that. So let's uncover the Zodiac's emotional archivists, the signs most likely to hold grudges for a long time, ranked from, I might eventually soften, to, you just became a permanent chapter in my private history. And as you listen, make it personal. Drop your date of birth and your Zodiac sign in the comments, the way you'd tell it to the universe, like you're signing your name beneath your own story. Because the way you hold a grudge often reveals what your soul refuses to lose again. Number 4, Cancer. Cancer holds grudges through emotion, not strategy. If you're expecting a cold, calculating revenge plan, you're looking at the wrong sign. Cancer doesn't plot, Cancer feels. And when they're hurt, the feeling doesn't just sting, it sinks in. It becomes a long echo that keeps replaying in the mind. Not because they're obsessed with drama, but because their emotional memory is vivid and layered. They don't remember just what happened. They remember how it happened. The timing, the tone, the look in your eyes, the silence after, the way the air changed. Betrayal from someone they love cuts deeper than most people realize. Cancer is the type to give you a second chance with a soft voice and warm hands, then privately carry the scar like a hidden bruise. Even after forgiveness is offered, the wound can remain tender. Not because they want to punish you, but because their heart doesn't unknow what it learned. Outwardly, Cancer can still be nurturing, polite, even affectionate. But inwardly, their emotional ledger is meticulous. Their grudge is a shield for their vulnerability, a quiet promise to themselves that they won't be blindsided in the same place twice. And that's why Cancer rarely confronts a grudge directly. They don't storm in with accusations. They simply adjust their closeness. They start giving love and attention more selectively, as if turning down the volume on someone who once disrupted their peace. You'll see it in the small shifts, the delayed replies, the softer invitations that stop happening, the way they're still nice, but the warmth doesn't reach the same depth anymore. Cancer can forgive a forgotten birthday. Cancer can forgive a broken promise. Cancer can even forgive an insensitive comment said on a rough day. But the memory stays, quietly looping in the heart, like a song they never asked to keep hearing. Cancer doesn't seek revenge. They hold your memory hostage in their heart, not out of cruelty, but out of emotional survival. In Cancer's world, the ledger doesn't close easily, because love, to them, is sacred. And when something sacred is treated carelessly, the soul doesn't just shrug it off. Number 3, Capricorn. Capricorn doesn't react impulsively. Capricorn records. If Cancer is emotion that lingers like perfume in a room, Capricorn is memory that sits like a file in a cabinet. Calm, organized, ready to be referenced at any time. Capricorn's grudge holding isn't loud, and it's rarely dramatic. They don't need to make a scene to feel powerful. In fact, the less noise they make, the more control they feel. They're the sign most likely to look unbothered while the mind quietly takes notes. Every slight misstep, every backhanded comment, every moment you underestimated them. Capricorn catalogs it with a certain precision, not because they enjoy being petty, but because they're built to understand consequences. And once you show them you're capable of disloyalty, irresponsibility, or disrespect, their trust doesn't shatter into pieces. It turns into distance, measured intentional distance. Capricorn's grudges are often tied to respect and reputation. Betrayal in personal contexts hurts, yes, but betrayal in professional or social contexts becomes a permanent marker. They don't forget who tried to take credit for their work, who undermined them, who embarrassed them, who spoke over them, who quietly competed with them while pretending to support them. Capricorn might smile and nod in the moment, but internally, they're adjusting your access level. Their grudge holding is strategic rather than emotional. Capricorn believes time reveals everything, and they're willing to wait. They observe, they plan, they let life highlight the offender's missteps, and when the moment comes, they don't announce their lesson. They simply position themselves where they can't be harmed again, and where they can quietly win. You know the Capricorn colleague who remembers that credit-stealing incident from years ago? They may never confront it directly. They may never bring it up. But somehow, from that point forward, their name is on the document first. Their contributions are undeniable. Their boundaries are tighter. Their trust is no longer easily available. Capricorn doesn't need to get even. They prefer subtle outcomes over emotional chaos. Capricorn's revenge, when it exists, is professionally delayed karma. Slow, calculated, and highly effective. And sometimes it isn't even revenge. It's simply the universe working through a sign that understands long-term consequences. Capricorn doesn't scream. Capricorn builds. Before we go further, if this kind of astrology hits you in that too accurate way, if you like the deeper psychological side of the signs, make sure you subscribe to Signs and Secrets, because we don't just describe the zodiac here, we decode the hidden patterns behind it. Number 2, Taurus. Taurus rarely loses their temper, and that's exactly why people misjudge them. They mistake calm for softness. They mistake silence for forgiveness. But Taurus is an earth sign, and earth doesn't forget what was pressed into it. Taurus can be patient, warm, steady, and grounding until they're betrayed. Then something changes, and it changes slowly, like a door closing without a slam. Taurus isn't impulsive in revenge. In fact, Taurus often doesn't revenge at all in the dramatic sense. Instead, they retreat. They build walls. They silently tally every wrong. Their patience can make them seem forgiving, but beneath that calm exterior is a stubborn refusal to forget what broke their trust. And Taurus values trust like oxygen. They don't hand it out casually. They don't give their loyalty to everyone. So when it's broken, it doesn't feel like a small disappointment. It feels like a violation of the safe world they were building. Taurus remembers everything from forgotten promises to subtle insults. And the way they hold it is not loud. It's enduring. It's a slow burn. A quiet shift that becomes permanent. Taurus rarely articulates their grudge, because Taurus doesn't want to argue feelings into existence. They want reality. They want action. And when reality shows them you're unreliable or disrespectful, they respond with the language they trust most: consistency and distance. You'll see Taurus accept an apology politely. They may even smile and say, "It's fine," but the energy changes. The invitation stops. The trust doesn't return to the same level. The closeness doesn't rebuild the way it used to. Taurus doesn't explode. Taurus removes. And that's the part that shocks people. Because Taurus can be so loving, so present, so loyal that others assume their bond is permanent. But when Taurus decides you are no longer safe, you don't get a dramatic goodbye. You get a quiet archiving, like being moved from the inner circle folder to the acquaintance folder. And Taurus never announces the update. A Taurus doesn't get even. They simply stop letting you in. And once they've closed that door, it's not locked out of anger. It's locked out of self-respect. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, take a second right now to like the video. It helps Signs and Secrets reach more people who need clarity, and it tells the algorithm you want more of this deeper, real astrology, not the shallow stereotypes. Number 1, Scorpio. Scorpio doesn't just hold grudges. Scorpio curates them. If other signs remember a betrayal, Scorpio relives it with precision. Every insult, every slight, every betrayal is stored in their emotional memory like a high-definition recording. They don't just recall what happened, they analyze it, they dissect it, they replay it. They look for motives, patterns, hidden meanings, the unspoken intent behind the spoken words. And that's why Scorpio's grudges can feel legendary. Not because Scorpio wants to suffer, but because Scorpio cannot ignore what their intuition detects. Forgiveness for Scorpio is not quick or casual. Trust, once broken, can feel almost impossible to repair. Not because Scorpio is cruel, but because Scorpio is deeply wired for emotional truth. When someone betrays them, it isn't just a mistake, it becomes a revelation. And Scorpio doesn't forget revelations. What makes Scorpio the ultimate grudge holder is that their grudge isn't always about confrontation. Scorpio doesn't need to yell. Scorpio doesn't need to expose you publicly. Scorpio is psychological. They can appear calm, even friendly, while quietly recalibrating their relationship with you in ways you won't fully understand until you feel the distance. And sometimes, yes, Scorpio may choose retaliation, but it's rarely impulsive. It's measured. It's timed. It's the kind of consequence that feels like the universe itself decided to respond. Scorpio remembers how you hurt them, the exact tone, the context, the emotions involved, and the moment they realized your loyalty had limits. Their reactions can look delayed, but that doesn't mean they forgot. It means they're watching. It means they're waiting to see if you're truly remorseful, or simply sorry you got caught. That Scorpio friend who casually references a small betrayal from years ago, not to attack you, not to start drama, but because they genuinely never forgot, it stayed in the archive. Cross a Scorpio once, and you might be starring in their private documentary titled The Betrayal, complete with timestamps, emotional subtext, and a director's cut you never asked to exist. And yet, here's the paradox. Scorpio can love harder than almost any sign. That's what makes the grudge so intense. The deeper the bond, the deeper the wound when it's dishonored. Scorpio doesn't hold grudges because they're petty. Scorpio holds grudges because their love is serious and their soul demands honesty. Support Signs and Secrets. Become a channel member for exclusive videos and early access. Honorable mention, Virgo. Virgo isn't always as openly unforgiving as the others, but their grudges are quietly precise. Virgo doesn't lash out. Virgo observes. Virgo analyzes. Virgo remembers. Their mind is designed to notice details other people miss, and that includes the small betrayals people try to hide behind excuses. Virgo's grudge doesn't look like rage, it looks like recalculation. Virgo mentally archives every slight, every broken promise, every inconsistency, often with a level of detail that surprises people later. They might still help you. They might still be polite. They might still show up when needed, but inside, Virgo is updating your reliability score. And once your reliability score drops, you don't always get a big confrontation. You simply get less access to Virgo's trust, time, and energy. Virgo's grudge is more about self-preservation and emotional efficiency than revenge. Virgo doesn't want to waste energy on people who prove themselves careless, so they optimize, they adjust, they withdraw subtly. They set boundaries that look like being busy or needing space, when really it's Virgo choosing not to be repeatedly disappointed by the same pattern. That Virgo coworker who patiently helps someone again and again, but never forgets past mistakes. They're not plotting your downfall. They're making sure they don't get taken advantage of again. Virgo doesn't make a scene. Virgo doesn't perform anger. Virgo quietly restructures the relationship in a way that protects their peace. And if you've been listening and thinking, "This is me. I do this. I hold things longer than I admit," then I want you to make it real in the comments. Tell us your date of birth and your zodiac sign, and if you feel comfortable, add one sentence. Do you forgive fast, or do you remember forever? Keep it personal. Keep it honest. Because sometimes, naming your pattern is the first step to mastering it. If you stayed to the end, subscribe to Signs and Secrets so you don't miss the next deep zodiac breakdown. And make sure to like the video, because your support keeps this channel growing and helps more people find the guidance they're searching for. If you want to hear everything the universe has to say to you, watch these other videos on our channel.